What is up, you two? I've not done a stream for quite a while. It's been about 6 weeks, I think, since I've actually done one of these. There's been a lot of things happening, moving house, going on holiday, getting internet set up, these kinds of things. Hope you've been following along on any other method of following this podcast on Apple, Spotify. All the links are in the description. Thank you for joining. If you're here, Fred, I see you're here. Good afternoon, Scott. Do we really have a choice? He's been a complete disaster, ruining any hope of reviving this club's fortunes. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that from the start. Look, if a managerial change happened now, I don't think it would take long to see an upturn. Let's just say that. On top of his stubbornness in picking out form players in a system that clearly the players hate, has sewn it up for me. Replacement incoming. Look, yeah, the stubbornness, the team selection, the fact that he's still playing a goalkeeper who was number 2 for the entirety of last season, even though United have signed one goalkeeper, it's incredibly annoying. Diogo Dalot, why is he in the team? It's there's lots going. There's lots of things you can pick at here. There's lots of things that you can talk about what's going wrong around Ruben Amorim and Manchester United. It's miserable. It's really miserable, isn't it? It is. I've had enough. I'm at apathy again. Nearly. I think it is just really, really difficult to stomach whatever's happening here because you can't trust in anything. You can't trust that United are going to back up a relatively good performance last week with another good performance this week. Even at Brentford absolutely schooled United in the first 20 minutes or so, and some would argue for the entire day. But look, the briefs are out there. That's what I'm going to be talking about on the show today. Please like the video if you've not done so already. If you're just joining, please like the video. Please get in the comment section as well. I really do want this to be more of a interactive show. So if you are here and you have a keyboard in front of you, watching on a TV or whatever, just hit the keys. Get your comments in. Let me know what you think, and please subscribe to the channel as well if you've not done so already. This is the Promised Land podcast YouTube channel, right? So the podcast exists on Apple, Spotify, audio platforms, and these kinds of things. Sometimes most of the time I'll upload episodes of the podcast, like full ones or clips, up to this channel to kind of get my feelings out there. But I'm still trying to grow this channel. It's been a little bit slow in doing so, but I think the lives are what people seemed to like a few weeks ago before I stopped doing them. So I'm back. T2 is back. T2, the Izzo, Hi Scott, Sean Maguire and Dalot have let down numerous managers. It's negligence to continue to pick them. Add Bayindir to that list as well. Completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. Harry Maguire might get a new contract. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. But these players are low on confidence at the moment. I don't know how. I'm in such a difficult position here. I don't understand where any kind of, and I know I said just now that reviving this club, when you said there's no hope of reviving this club's fortunes, I don't necessarily agree with that, but I don't have any kind of confidence that United will get the next decision right on the manager, or that that manager coming in will be able to actually improve this group of players. We talk about changing the tactics and lots of things like that. And obviously, yes, there are things screaming at you, like change this, do this, play this player in this position. Yes, a lot of that obviously makes massive sense, but the players are still, they lose their heads in moments. They at Brentford the other day, they're not winning one-on-ones. They're not winning high balls. Harry Maguire's making bad decisions in terms of stepping up. It's, and how do you kind of get out of that? It just seems like the players have no confidence at the moment. And yes, a manager should install confidence, but it's so fragile. One bad defeat, and let's say a new manager comes in, one bad defeat. What happens then? Stephanie is here. Good afternoon. Thank you for rejoining. Saying hello to Fred as well. Hello, Fred. Hello, T2. Hello, Stephanie as well. I'm Scott Saunders, by the way. If you're joining for the first time, you can follow me on social media in the description below. I think all of my links should be there. Let me just double check. Yes, you can. X, Instagram, TikTok, and the podcast as well, the X account of the podcast. But yes, there's loads of. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about Ruben Amorim today. Stephanie nails it here. This is very much like my kind of line of thinking. Heads go down too easily. That's leadership on and off the pitch. Yeah, and like all I've seen over the last few days, because I watched that game like without sound, which was an interesting way to watch it. I watched that in the TalkSport studio on Saturday afternoon. You don't get sound, right? And the way that I was kind of looking at it and interpreting it, not being influenced by either social media or by crowd noise or by the commentators and what they were saying, all of these can have like subliminal like effects. I just looked at the team and I thought, right, Brentford have a plan. They're just going to lump it up there. And Man United's players are not as strong as Brentford's are in these situations. And Brentford have a plan here. Yes, you can talk about tactics and this kind of thing. But as Stephanie's saying there, heads go down too easily. Like Amorim said in the week, or like after the game, we worked in training all week on long balls and throw-ins and corners and all this kind of stuff. And everything goes out the window, so they can go in training and train really well, according to various sources. I was just listening to Talk of the Devils, and Andy Mitten said that the players were training and the good feeling was there throughout the entire week before the Brentford game. What happens when you get on the pitch? It's really bad. Really bad. Grace, hello. I really wanted Amorim to work 3-4-3, something new, something fresh and away from the norm. I blame INEOS for bringing in a 3-4-3 manager, but Amorim is to blame for being a prick and being stubborn. The 3-4-3 was a big risk one there, obviously. Ben, hello. Missed the start. Hello, everyone. You back from your holiday, Ben? I think I saw a comment from you the other day. I think you missed the game or something, or you caught the highlights of it. But it's no fun at the moment, is it? Really no fun. Sai says, or Say, I don't know if I'm getting your name right there, but hello. Good evening, Scott from India. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Thank you very much for joining. It's good to see you. It's funny, I'm just scrolling through YouTube. I happen to stop here and you are right here. Oh, maybe you're talking to Stephanie there. Okay. Ben, has he been sacked? Just got back from Hull, so haven't seen anything yet. No, he hasn't yet, unless I've missed something in the last 5-10 minutes or so since I've started actually streaming. No, they haven't yet. I don't think they will this week. If they lose to Sunderland, I don't know. But Ben, the news is from the last few days over the weekend. Stephanie's got to go. But thank you very much for joining, Stephanie. Like and subscribe, like Stephanie says, if you're new here. But look, there's been multiple reports over the last few days. I'm going to catch Ben up here. If you're still watching, Ben, you just got back from holiday, so I'm going to catch you up with what's happening. United lost the game, obviously. Brentford absolutely smashed United for the first 20 minutes or so. And I think, but for what it's worth, I think it was a grim watch. But I think United, if that game had have finished 2-2 and they'd have scored the penalty and actually Brentford had gone down to 10 men, like what should have happened, I don't think there would be such hysteria and such meltdown. But obviously things just go against United so often at the moment. And when you have a goalkeeper there that kind of lets balls go straight through him, you're fighting an uphill battle. After that game, they couldn't lose that. They just couldn't lose that. Otherwise, we'd be in this same situation again. I knew that we would be. The noise, it goes up, 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 up so quickly after United lose a game. And last week, I didn't do a stream, did a podcast. There was nothing to talk about last week because United won a game. Nothing to talk about. I'll catch up on this a second. I just want to talk about this comment here. If a new manager came in and played 4-2-3-1 with Mbeumo, Sesko, Cunha, and Mbeumo, Bruno, Mainu, Ugarte, what a great team. I mean, look, yes, on paper it does make sense, but the mentality problem is still there for me. Like, it really is. It doesn't. Hiring a new manager straight away isn't just necessarily going to fix anything because there's so much baggage that Ruben Amorim is trying to deal with that any other manager. Look at Ollie Glasner. I'm seeing loads of people saying Ollie Glasner should come in. He's never experienced anything like this. Like the size of this club, like the focus of this club, like the confidence being on the floor of highly paid £300,000 a week footballers, £200,000 a week footballers. It's a complete different kettle of fish. But Ben, yeah. So I'm back to what I was just saying. So obviously, since United lost the game, we've had the usual, like, it does seem a bit end of days to me. It does seem like we're one defeat away, really, from that being the end. But INEOS, Jim Ratcliffe, this is from Simon Stone, from the usual United journalists that have just that are around the club that kind of get fed the information. It all came out on Sunday, I think. Jim Ratcliffe feels it's only fair to judge Amorim on a full season with what he views as the right team. I think that is the current status out of Manchester United. But then we did see, when a few weeks before Ten Hag was sacked, we did see that similar messaging come out. And then 3 weeks later or whatever, they actually just they ended up sacking him anyway, because it was beyond reproach, That hasn't stopped speculation in the meantime, and loads of names being thrown out there with who Manchester United are potentially looking at next. You got Andoni Iraola in places, Oliver Glasner in places. Fabrizio Romano is pushing Xavi like nobody's business. Gareth Southgate's obviously been linked with the role. There's others as well. Fabian Hürzeler I've seen today. People talk about Ruben Amorim being 40-odd years old and his coaching staff being young. And that is a stick to beat him with or whatever, or a reason why it won't work. And I'm not saying that it's not true. Fabian Hürzeler is like 33, isn't he? I look around and I think there's so many bigger problems than the tactical side of things here. That's what I think personally. So it's going to be really difficult for whoever ends up succeeding Ruben Amorim, if that's the way that we end up going, to carry on, to take United on the right path, because there's so many problems for United to fix. Outside of that, there's been some internal suggestions in certain places. Michael Carrick, Kieran McKenna, Darren Fletcher as well, who's managing the under-18s. But honestly, I don't know what the right option is. Maybe you guys have a preferred option. I'm here to kind of talk to you today. If you're in the comment section, get your comments in. Let me know your thoughts. I'm seeing Take Back a Langer in the comment section. No, not for me. I mean, look, if you want United to play counter-attacking football, then I think it would work quite well. But Grace, super chat, like the first super chat on this channel. Thank you very, very much, Grace. Screw it, I'm Amorim in. Interesting. Stubborn, I don't care. Give him 2 years and I have ice cream for the pain. 2 controlling mids and 2 wing backs next summer. I'm kind of subscribed to your view, Grace. If I had to pick something, I would still give it more time. I still would. But that's going to be probably one of the more unpopular takes. I think that from what I've seen so far, over the last few days, it's very much change the man now if this isn't going to work. But Grace makes a great point here. 2 controlling mids and 2 wing backs next summer, right? Ruben Amorim has what he said in his first press conference, what he said in his meetings with Manchester United. He talked about intensity and how important intensity was. Do you think Manchester United are currently an intensity team? Are they an intense team? Nowhere near it. Absolutely nowhere near it. And what I think the problem is here, to a degree, obviously, there's loads of Ruben Amorim could probably behave differently. I'll give you that. He's got the players that he's got. He could probably make different choices. He could be much more ruthless with the decisions that he makes for underperforming players and drop players, to bring others in. But the fact of the matter is, the things that he has wanted last summer, he might have got a new front three, but that's where it stopped. They've signed a goalkeeper that he clearly doesn't actually fancy that much, and he maybe needs to take a bit of time to get to know him and start to see him in training, see what he's like in training before throwing him into the team. He wanted Emi Martinez in the summer. Grace there talks about the controlling midfielders and 2 wing backs. The big differences in like why Ruben Amorim's teams have been so good in the past, or why that Sporting team was so good in the past, was because of the wing backs, because of the energy of the wing backs. The midfielders, you look at the midfield at the moment, no matter who plays in there, it's not the right fit. It's not the right pairing. And he's been let down in a sense by the owners, but I understand the owners have like their own problems to sort out, in the fact that they don't actually have 600 million quid to get the entire team done in one summer for them to start playing exactly like Ruben Amorim wants them to play. I'm just going to, my washing machine is just going to beep for 5-10 minutes. It was meant to be done 15 minutes ago before I started this. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm just going to mute, but I'll be back in 1 second. Yeah, sorry, washing machine problems. Thanks everyone for staying. I forgot. Just got here. What's happening? Hacker, I just had to turn the washing machine off because it had finished and it had been beeping for bloody ages, and I would have been really irritated by that. So that's what's happening. I'm here to talk about Ruben Amorim, basically. And Ben is asking here, how are we all feeling anyway? Rough time to be a United fan, so look after yourselves. Do something that makes you happy. Completely agree. Ben, thanks for joining the stream. You got back over the weekend from your holiday, right? Or yesterday or something like that. So the washing machine wants Amorim gone. Yes, I think it does. But look, right? Yeah, right. Here's another comment from Ben. I'm still backing him. Tired of throwing myself into the hope of a new manager, learning his tactics and mindset, etc., only to watch us sack him when it's poor on the pitch. End the cycle. Yes. And you're back yesterday. Okay, good. Cool. Look, right? And this is not something that will really be entertained anyway. It won't be entertained on social media, really. It won't be entertained through massively viral videos or whatever. They've only done, for what Ruben Amorim wants, they've only done a third of the job. The attack. And yes, it's not clicking at the moment, but they only saw the 3 of them play together that they signed in the summer for the first time on Saturday. Like, the job hasn't been done yet. There's not enough energy in the team. There are going to be decisions. If they stick with Amorim for the rest of the season, and it turns out that Kobbie Mainoo isn't actually the answer for what Amorim wants in the midfield, I'm going to be really, really, really sad about that. Really upset about that if it ends up that he goes somewhere else, because I think Kobbie Mainoo is a fantastic footballer, but he doesn't strike you as the exact right fit at the moment, you know, and hopefully he can learn the position and he can actually become one of the midfielders that Ruben Amorim wants if he ends up staying. But at the moment, I would probably make it more likely that Kobbie Mainoo is going to be playing in a midfield 3 under another manager probably in the next year. But look, I can't blame him. The results are indefensible. I can't judge anyone who's had enough. And that's important, right? I think I have had enough. I feel apathy again. You know, I think a lot of people do. A lot of people are angry. I was angry after the game the other day, but I kind of just go past anger quite quickly because I'm so used to United being terrible now that, you know, that's just, I try and go and find something else to do to kind of take my mind off this, because it's just not getting any easier, and we've not really had anything to build hope for a long, long time now. Like, think of Bunny was actually good. When was it last really good. Probably our the first season under Erik ten Hag, even though at the time the matches were pretty boring. You know, that was 3 years ago. 3 years, I think. Whatever it was. Yeah. As Fred said, though, is there any case for him to stay? Then I hope it might get better. But this is the thing, right? There's from the outside, no, there's no case for him to stay. Really, the results are crap. 34 points in 33 games. The performances are not great, or they're blatantly bad. But we don't see everything that happens at the football club inside the football club, you know. So, like, if INEOS haven't made a decision on him yet, they've got to be believing in something that he's doing. They've got to, like, the messaging from INEOS has always been that this isn't going to be a quick fix. I think Jason Wilcox did an interview, or he appeared at a Club Legends night or something like that a few weeks ago. I think, if I remember rightly, he was talking about how this would take time. And all the messaging has been, this is going to take time. They've been looking at 2028 as the year to be competing for the title or winning the title. That's still 3 years away. There's so much. There's still so much to do, and there's so much time to pass yet. The problem is everybody wants this done immediately, and it's just there's really showing no signs of like actual like tangible improvement yet. Even though we've seen some half decent performances at the start of the season, the Brentford game just simply wasn't good enough. Hacker says, who has more power, the board, the sporting director, or the manager? Well, it'd be Sir Jim at the moment, wouldn't it? It'd be the board at the moment. But I think something that they've been saying is that they're all working together. You know, they're all trying to be one. You saw that video of Jason Wilcox and Ruben Amorim at the train station the other day, right? Ben, you might have missed that, but it is. There was Jason Wilcox and Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim was in hysterics at the train station, so it does seem like they get on quite well. It does seem like they're pretty close knit and close together. But they're probably gonna have to make a big decision soon, if you know Sunderland turn up to Old Trafford, because the noise is going to be so loud. We're all fed up of it, though. We all are, you know. Grace says here, Brentford wanted it more. Where's the fight from our players? Our players are just a bunch of individuals. Give me a team of nobodies who die for each other over big names any day of the week. Yeah, I'm actually quite with Grace here, to be honest. The thing is, like, if United ended up changing the manager now, I would just none of the like what Grace is talking about here. Where's the fight from our players? Just a bunch of individuals. What makes everybody think that a new manager is going to come in and not run into this exact problem? Or we just kicking the can down the road and just, is there an issue that you just need to square up to, face up to now and deal with it head on? Or are you just going to try and kick it down the road and hope it goes away? You can criticize Ruben Amorim for a lot of things, but I don't. And I said this about Ten Hag as well, actually, even though his judgment was off. Ruben Amorim spends all of his time talking about the culture and talking about the attitude and talking about winning your duels and talking about winning one-on-ones and going up and winning headers and wanting it more than the other team. He said the other day, we played Brentford's game. You know, not our game. This is a problem that we've seen over and over again. Like, the players can't adapt to this system. They couldn't adapt to Erik ten Hag's system. They couldn't adapt to Rangnick's system. You know? When Ollie was there, they couldn't adapt and play. Remember, they opened up and played against Liverpool. Ollie admitted this, right? They opened up, tried to play against Liverpool and got battered 5-0 at home. They were a counter-attacking team. That's how it worked. And the problem is, the kind of transition hasn't completely taken place yet. Hacker says the team was built to be a Poch team, didn't get the manager for it. It's been morphing with every manager since. Yeah. Probably. When was the last time we controlled possession of a game for most of the game? Yeah. I can't believe the caption I just saw. Not Scott when the time is up for the manager. No. It's a question. It's a question. It's not me saying that he should go. This is just a question. Fred says, can you put a time on bringing this club back? You know the impatience of the fan base. Yeah, I mean, it's last week was so slow, and it's like things move so quickly at the moment that it just seems like there's so much time, and there's going to be so much time this week, and there's going to be so much time after the international break as well. If United don't beat Sunderland, maybe the change is made at that point, but there's going to be so much time for people to talk every waking moment of the day. People are talking about Man United's fall from grace, and as Ben is saying here again, 2028 is the stated goal, but I'm not sure if Amorim will see it unless things change. Yeah, look, he might not. But if anything, he's not going to at the moment. But it's important to know that, like, the form should obviously be better. The performances should obviously be better. But the next manager will probably run into the same issues that Ruben Amorim is running into. Grace, I would give Amorim a new contract. The problem is, right, if United's form 34 matches or 33 games, 34 matches, that is relegation form. And if this continues for the duration of this season, you don't want to be in that conversation, and God, you think it's bad now, think about it then. Yeah. I'm still the cool head. I try to be, even though I am fed up, I've got to be honest, but I'm trying to look at this through the lens of, this is about more than tactics for me. It's about more than tactics. Ruben Amorim can change and do things differently tactically, but if he's looking at changing the way that this United team approach matches, and it's going to require a lot of changes. It's going to require, as Grace was saying earlier, 2 central midfielders, 2 wing backs, probably quicker defenders. They're probably going to sign a centre back next year. You need a goalkeeper who doesn't have what do you call them? Hands that just let everything in. That second goal the other day for Bayindir, that he just palmed it out into Igor Thiago, sorry. So bad. It's just going to take time. And look at this, right? And Daniel Egger, hello, mate. I think the board is left confused by how everything collapses so quickly. Has it? Look, the results are bad, right? It's collapsed so quickly to us on the outside. We've had your usuals today. We've had your Samuel Luckhurst's son saying everything is terrible inside the club. But last week it was great. Everybody was really happy last week because they beat Chelsea. Think of the way that things are reported and how much focus United get every time they lose a game. Think of how the players then internalize that. They absolutely are bound to see it. They're bound to react to it. They're bound to kind of carry that weight on their shoulders of, oh no, we can't lose another game for Manchester United. We can't. In the isolation of the training ground, maybe it's a different story. But, when they get out into the big bad world and start playing matches and that kind of thing, they collapse under the pressure. They've collapsed under the pressure. I mentioned that 5-0 game earlier. And the 7-0 against Liverpool. Talk about collapsing under pressure. Some of these players are still there that played in those games. And I know you can talk about how, the players are different since then. But they haven't got rid of the problem. They've just built around the problem. The players that have suffered those problems in the past are still there. And that reaction probably seeds into other people. I don't know. This is so deep a problem. It's a cultural problem. We'll stand by that until it's fixed. It's a cultural problem. Culture's the foundation of it all. Tactics is up here. Tactics is way on top of it. Getting your players to stick to your tactics. Do you think they're doing everything that Ruben Amorim is asking them to do in every single minute of every single game? I don't, currently. If they work on it all week and then get confused in matches, I think Amorim's a pretty good communicator, to be honest. So, I don't know. Fred says, Scott, would you trust Amorim to bring us back from the brink? Look, where I fit on this at the moment, right, is I don't know. I would like to think that one day down the line, probably not going to happen. I'd like to think that one day down the line, we'll be able to look back on this and think, God, those days were crap, but we came out the other end of it. For what it's worth, I don't think. I think that decision will be made at some point this season, to be honest. I think he will end up leaving at some point this season. But what he's trying to address is something deeper rooted than tactics. Now, unfortunately, he just does have to get the results to go with it, and he's not getting them at the moment. Hacker says, do you think United don't need a philosophy type manager because there's an overriding legacy of success at United? Sort of cancels it out. I think I was thinking about this earlier, actually, with the links to Carrick, to Kieran McKenna, like Darren Fletcher, these kinds of people. United are built on. One thing I will give you at the moment is Ruben Amorim has a philosophy and a system and this kind of thing. Is that necessarily like married up with what Manchester United are? Don't think so. Don't think so. But has the game changed? Can you get by on what United have got by on in the past? I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if they did end up going away of getting in Michael Carrick on an interim basis or something until the end of the season. I think results would stabilize. But where'd you go after that? Yeah, Fred, I watched the Rooney podcast this morning. He makes a great point, And again, Wayne Rooney was talking about fight. I'm very much like this tactics and this fight. I just think attitude, fight, desire, and all that, it's just not, it's there sometimes and it's not there other times. And when United aren't up for it, Brentford were just more aggressive than United at the weekend. They were clever, but they were more aggressive. That's how they ended up winning. Ben says, I think it's cultural too, but unless he gets results with what we have, it's so hard to defend his position. Yes, exactly. I do podcasts, right? And I try and articulate that. I find it really difficult to do it because I can't say stand by him. I can't. You cannot defend the results. You can't. And look, if he'd won at the weekend or something like that, and then he goes and beats Sunderland at the weekend, it buys him time. It buys him more patience from people. Even though some people might have gone over the line already and have decided on the fact that they want Amorim out regardless. He just needs to. He really, really needs to just get wins on the board. And I think there is an argument to say that United have been relatively unlucky, but that's not washing with people. It's not. It's not washing with people. I'm sick and tired of it as well. You need evidence. There's no evidence at the moment. T2 says, I actually think Amorim will get patience from the fans if he played Cobby, Yoro, and Heaven. At least these are players with room to improve. I get you. I do get you. I think Yoro's just... I understand why you didn't pick Yoro at the weekend, because you knew that Brentford were going to lump balls forward, and Harry Maguire and Matthias de Ligt should be good at defending in the air, and they weren't at the weekend. Really, with the fact that the ball gets lofted up. Maguire tries to play the offside and it's done terribly. De Ligt misses a header in the lead up to the second goal, I think it was. There's no... they didn't have the right attitude going in. They didn't show the right physicality going in. And I agree with you, to be honest. In terms of Aiden Heaven, Luke Shaw's in the team still. like Yoro, I could understand him being switched in and out because of like what the game is. But like there was a moment against Manchester City where he didn't really cover himself in glory in defending one of the goals. But these players shouldn't be playing all the time because they're all young players. But like Cobby and Heaven, especially, I would say, because I think Yoro will get minutes. I'm worried about the minutes that Cobby will get. But yeah, I agree. At least there are players with room to improve. Why he's picking Luke Shaw and he's picking Bayendier and he's picking Dallo and these kinds of problems. Spurs had a cultural problem during Conte. Ange did change that for the worse or better. I don't know, like temporarily, right? Youth courage, success. Yeah. There's not a lot of courage being shown at the moment. There's no success, obviously. And youth is a question as well. But like, there are some young players in and amongst the squad, but maybe not enough for everybody. Where's the fight? Says Grace. What Rooney podcast is that? I'll watch that after this. I think it's called the Wayne Rooney podcast. It's on the BBC. So it's on YouTube. You can just go to the BBC Sport channel, I think, go on YouTube, or you can listen to it on Apple, Spotify for audio if you want. It's like it's a good, like, there's a lot of podcasts which are noise and like high volume, and there's a lot of criticism, and I see Carragher and Neville get a lot of stick nowadays. The Rooney one, you could tell that he was saying, I'm not sure if I should say this. I've been thinking about this all day. And then he ended up saying it anyway. I don't recognize Manchester United. I'm not going to give too much away for you. But yeah, it's worth watching. I think he comes across really genuinely, to be honest. Mark says, if we carry on, we'll be in the Championship. Sunderland will not. They're doing well. Got great points at the start of the season. We nearly dropped to the Championship last season. Panicking time. Crazy. Yeah. Aiden Havins on 67 minutes this season. Yeah, not good, is it? Playing Maguire to defend on halfway is suicidal. I don't know how this was a surprise to anyone. And this is the thing, right? Like, yeah, he maybe could have played De Ligt there. We know that Maguire is not quick. But you're in this difficult situation of, do you change what you're doing to just get results, and do you want to defend deeper? No, this team, Ruben Amorim's team, should be really they should have quick defenders and be pushing up, right? Erik ten Hag came in, tried to play his way, ended up changing it, and did well for a little while. And Amorim actually referenced this in an interview that he did with Sky a couple of weeks ago. It ended up being, because he changed his philosophy, like it was just, what was it after a while? Nobody really knew what it was. So Amorim's been very, very steadfast in saying that I'm going to do it my way, and if my way doesn't work, change me around. So if Bruno plays 10 in this system, who you drop in? That's the thing. I think with these number 10s, like with Cunha and Mbeumo, they need to be ball carriers, really. For most matches, need to be ball carriers. Bruno isn't an ideal 10 in this team either. And there's so many like square pegs in round holes. I don't like Bruno in midfield. I don't think anybody does, to be honest. Central midfield. But like Amorim wanted to keep him over the summer. There was a bid on the table for him. Amorim wanted to keep him. The club wanted to keep him. So there's a lot of muddled thinking, I think. Dan says, honestly, I can't just see it getting better. I just can't see it, because he said it would not change, and certainly nothing ain't changing because he's keeps playing the same midfield. Yeah, the midfield needs 200 million invested into it. Like, you need two like lung busting runners in there, really, and you don't have them. The wing backs will add a hell of a lot of difference as well. We don't have them. Dorgu, after a decent start, is not really cutting it. Hacker says, I say play an English core and rotate the rest. Let them show the fight, as they say, get them some stability and then add to it. Yeah. Ben says, there must be some tweaks he can make, though, surely. Don't have to change it all, but change something. Look, I know that what can he change though? Like the thing is, like, people are asking for Ruben Amorim to go to a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. The guy's never played, apart from like a time in his career where he was managing at his first club. He was on the brink of the sack, playing a back four or a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 or whatever. He ended up changing to a 3-4-3 and has never looked back since. So he could change, but if he's not that coach that kind of works with the back four, and maybe there's some fundamentals about where players stand and how they position, you could even see, like, there were times the other day in the Brentford game, though, where we did play a back four. Like, they move from a back four to a back three to a back five. Like, they do. Grace says you can't play a high line without control. Look at Barcelona. They played De Jong and Pedri. They're both 4'2". I don't hear Barca fans complaining they don't have a DM. Yeah, and look, I don't have ball players really in there. You could obviously Cobby is one, but Cobby ends up losing the ball the other day, and Brentford turn over and score a goal as well. Yeah, and that's the thing. Look, there would still be a deeply flawed midfield in a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1. There would still be a physicality issue. Yeah, I know. Like, and the thing is, when everyone's judging Amorim now, and rightfully so. But what he has asked for and what he has wanted, he wanted experience in goal. He wanted a midfielder as well. He's wanted a wing back. They've signed Dorgu, who's 20 or whatever. He's wanted a wing back. All of these kinds of players are going to be massive to actually improving how the team plays, and he hasn't got them. So you could argue that he should change things around. Like, yeah. I think if he did change things around, then probably we'd be able to like stem the flow of things. But he will then think, I've fallen back on my idea, even though I've said, like, from the very beginning, I'm going to play my way. And then he would think the players don't look at him in the same way. And Jason says here, the players were bad in 4-2-3-1 with Ten Hag. Just play the younger players. No more Dalot, Casemiro, Shaw, Maguire, and yes, Bruno starting. The Bruno thing, like, I think there's links with Xavi, right? And maybe you've missed this, Ben. I'm talking to you here, but maybe you've missed this over the last day or so. But Xavi has been talked up by Fabrizio Romano as wanting this job, waiting for United to come with a job offer for him or something like that. He wants to join. He wants to go to a Premier League club. He quite fancies the United job. Can you think, or can you imagine Xavi trying to play tiki-taka with Bruno Fernandes in the team? It doesn't work for me. Like, it doesn't work. Grace, since you're here, can you tell me what Dalot does really well? I've been asking this question on social media. I've been asking this in podcasts and that kind of thing. What does he do well? I don't know. The TLDR for me is the squad isn't good enough, but Amorim's got to find a way to get results. I think the squad is better than it is. I really do. It's not 14th, 15th. It's not. If they played a way that wasn't high energy, Dalot is excellent at high fives. If they didn't play like high energy football and they could just sit in and use their pace on the break and condense space and this kind of thing, I think United would be okay. They'd probably win games. They'd probably go up the table. But then people will be complaining that they're not playing the United way. Really? Just look at him. Okay, I get it. I understand. Didn't know that. But I have seen you defending Dalot pretty often on these videos. So I understand now. I get it. Okay. But look, right, you think, I'll say this as well. Maybe I should wrap up at some point soon. Thanks for everyone for joining, by the way. If you're new here, please hit the subscribe button in the links below if you've not subscribed, or hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, this kind of thing. Or I haven't actually said hit the like button actually throughout this entire show. So please, if you haven't liked the stream already, please do. I'll say this though, right? People are desperate. And it seems like from the comment section, actually, I found a small group of United fans who actually have more patience than I've seen in most places online, I think. People are asking why haven't INEOS sacked him yet? 6 games gone. There's been chat that United didn't actually consider last season Ruben Amorim's first full season. So they're willing to give him time. They're willing to give him more time. That's what the media briefs has been saying. You think of it like this, right? It's a roller coaster to live through, and like nobody's really got any hope, and I don't have much. But look at the league table. Everybody is beating each other. You know, Crystal Palace beat Liverpool at the weekend. Brighton went to Chelsea and won. Wolves took a point at Tottenham and they're only pegged back in injury time. Sunderland are doing brilliantly. United lost at Brentford. You know, I expect it's because a lot of us aren't on the big social media platforms anymore, Scott, except here. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, they get quite annoying, don't they? But look, what I'm saying, United are 14th in the league, but look at the league table. United are 3 points behind City and 1 point behind Chelsea. And Chelsea have not had a good start at all. They've not really played anyone major yet. They play Liverpool this weekend. But they've lost their last 2 games. You know? I just think that the Premier League that we have now, and have had for a while, I Am Titanium says, I've been Ruben out since the Europa final. I can't defend. No, for me, if they'd have made that decision at that point, I couldn't have said otherwise. I understand. Fred, Scott, are these chats regular now, my friend? Do you want them to be? I'm set up now, so I can be. If you would like me to do more of these, just let me know. But what I was saying is I'm going to pull up the table at the moment, right? And people are asking, why haven't INEOS made the decision yet? Why haven't they pulled the trigger yet? Yes, United are 14th in the league, but they're 1 point off 8th. They're 3 points off 7th and 4 points off the top 4. Like, things can turn around really quick. The problem is that nobody can really have any belief at the moment that United will put a consistent run of form together. And that I can't disagree with that. Like, I can't really see where that's coming from. But it was only last week where we were looking at this Brentford game and thinking, take that intensity that you took into the Chelsea game and take that to Brentford. And hopefully you should be able to replicate it and win. Bruno's missed, Ben saying it, Bruno's missed 2 pens in 7 games. 2 pens that probably could have made United 4 extra points. But nobody wants to talk about what ifs at the moment. But look, like, I think this is the way the season's going to go. Everybody's going to be beating each other. Liverpool last year managed to put a more consistent run of form together by beating everyone else. But generally, you'll find that teams that you won't expect to be beating big teams do end up beating big teams, and teams take points off each other. That's the problem in the Premier League, and that's what Ruben Amorim is trying to drive home. It's like, you need to turn up and be your best every single week, because if you're not, teams will beat you. Even Brentford drew with Chelsea a couple of weeks ago as well. You know? Anyway, I'm going to shoot off pretty soon. I thought I'd just come in here and see who was about, because I haven't done a stream for 6 weeks or whatever. I appreciate you guys who have joined the stream today, and a few of the regulars. Really, really appreciate you guys. Come on. The reason he missed 2 is because he's peed off. He has to play in central midfield. It's unprofessional. Come on, I don't think so. But look, thanks, guys, for joining me today. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I've just had a push notification from The Athletic saying how much more misery can Man United take. I can't take much more, to be honest. I'm sure we're all the same. We're all feeling the same. We're all feeling the pinch of this. But there's a bunch of other candidates. Maybe I'll be back at some point, maybe tomorrow or some point this week, talking about some potential other candidates, because it looks like we're going in that direction at the moment. I dread to think if United lose to Sunderland at the weekend, what the noise is going to be like for the next 2 weeks. But yes, as Ben says here, like and subscribe, folks. I really appreciate Ben. Thank you very much, mate. I really appreciate you as well. Fred, Grace, everybody, Hacker, really appreciate you guys getting involved in the comments. And this 50 odd minutes has absolutely flown by, to be honest. So thanks for joining me today. This has been the first one after, on this channel for 6 weeks or so. So if you guys want me to come back, and Fred has already said, please come back and do another stream. So I will be back soon to do another one and talk more about the misery that is Manchester United. But thanks for joining me today. Until next time, everyone. See you soon. Subscribe, like button, that kind of thing. Follow me on social as well. All the links are in the description below. See you soon.